everyone, and welcome to a quick video which is just my thoughts on last night's Nintendo Direct, the 40-minute long one, which announced like all of the games that are coming out across the course of this quarter of the year, like spring/summer, because we're halfway through spring really. And honestly, I was kind of disappointed yesterday. There wasn't that much to talk about really, like besides from the main ones that we're going to get into. I'm just trying to think what they announced. They announced like some stupid ass solitaire thing with horses where it's like, you can play solitaire, and as you're playing solitaire there's like a horse race. And then they announced like some Mega Man X clone thing, which I'm not too sure what it was. It was like Gunblade 2, Gundam 2. Looked alright, I guess. And then they just kept saying the words DLC, Early Access, and Season Pass in typical AAA fashion. Like, I think at least 2 of those games that they mentioned were in Early Access, and at least 2 had a Season Pass, because, you know, everything's got to have Early Access and Season Passes now. Good. But let's move on to the main ones, though, because you're here for, like, their main IPs, like Star Fox. So, we're still quite far off the top there. So, first of all, we have Star Fox Zero. Honestly, that looks pretty good. Like, it's been delayed. I've been looking forward to Star Fox Zero because it's pretty much just like Star Fox 64. Looks pretty damn good. And it's been delayed quite a few times. So, it's nice to actually get Bill Trinan saying, oh, hey, it's not going to be delayed anymore. We've got an official release date, and that's April 22nd. It's like, nice. You know what? I'm glad that we've got an official release date, and it was actually going to be pushed back further than April. So at least they've like made some kind of compromise, and I get to play it in April. So that looks pretty good. I'm pretty excited about that. Kind of looks like Star Fox 64. Can't wait to play it. Can't wait to try out the new Land Walker, Bird Walker thing, and the other transformation that they've got. Then they announced like Star Fox Guard with it, which is like this free tower defense minigame. It looks alright, I guess. I mean, you know, it's free. It's just like this little free minigame that they threw in on the side, and it's like literally a tower defense minigame where you're playing as Slippy's uncle, and you put robots down to try and stop the people from getting to the crystals or the resources that they're using to fuel the R-Wings or whatever. I mean, it looks okay. I mean, nobody's going to be playing that. Everybody's going to be playing Zero. Zero is the bulk of what people are going to be playing. But, I mean, I guess if it's okay, this is an experiment, like throw in free little mini games, and if they work, you could turn them into bigger games later down the line, so I'm okay with that, I'm up for that. Then what was the next thing they showed off? Because there's 2 that I'm saving till last, because, oh, those two get a special mention, because, oh boy, wasn't that fun, kids. Then there was the Kirby game, which was like this robot. It's Dreamland has been basically taken over by Dr. Robotnik. You know, not shitty Eggman, not him, but like Dr. Robotnik from the SatAM series, which is the evil one that roboticizes everything. So like all of Dreamland has like been roboticized, and everybody's a robot, and the entire landscape is like industry. Looks pretty cool. It looks exactly like Triple Deluxe did. I liked me some Triple Deluxe. One thing I have a problem with, though, is like the new Hyper Fruit, which destroys everything. That is, Kirby gets into power armor, like in Fallout 4. And it's like, really? Power armor? I mean, I get it. Everything's roboticized, so you would obviously pilot a giant robot. But considering like the running trend that's going to come up in this Direct with power armor, it's like, no, come on. You could have thought of you could have just kept the Hyper Fruit, or you could have thought of something a little bit better than power armor, in my opinion. Well, you know, it looks exactly like Triple Deluxe. It looks pretty damn cool. I can't wait to have a go of that one. That one looks pretty good. Then we've got Hyrule Warriors. Legends was obviously announced, and if you ever watched this show and you've heard me talk about it passively, I love me some Hyrule Warriors. Like, I'm not a guy that's going to sit down and record it, because I've been playing it for like 400 hours now, and if even if each episode was an hour, we'd be on like episode 400. So yeah, let's not record Hyrule Warriors, but I love me some Hyrule Warriors. I've got 400 hours into it. I've 100%ed the story mode on, so I've got like all the Skulltulas on the story mode, and I've beat the story mode on each of the 4 difficulties. I've completed 100% the normal map, and I'm like 90% done with the Master Quest map, so I loves me some Hyrule Warriors, and Legends is just like more Hyrule Warriors, so looking forward to that. And I mean, like with Legends, because I'm getting Legends, I can put the code in so that I get the Wind Waker map and Tetra and the King and stuff, which is great because that's just more content for my Wii U version, and I'm going to be playing that more than the 3DS version. 3DS version is just more for road trips when I'm traveling. But you know, that's great. I get to have Tetra and the King and such in the Wii U version, and I'm excited for that. And you know, obviously because it's like you're buying the game again for the 3DS, then all that content is going to be free for the Wii U. You just put in the code that comes with your 3DS cartridge, so happy days. But then they announced another free character which you can just go on the eShop and download, free content, which is Medley, the bird girl from Wind Waker. And it's like, oh shit, Medley was pretty cool. I liked Medley. I liked like the Shadow Temple where you had to like hold on to her and glide across gaps. Made me feel like I was playing one of my old games again, gliding across gaps collecting gems. So yeah, I love the fact that Medley's free DLC. I'm excited for that one. That's good as well. So that's great. Then and then that was about it. That was the three semi-interesting things, and everything else is either just like mediocre, who gives a crap about this crap, like the solitaire horse racing game thing, or it's just absolutely abysmal, like the 2 that we're certainly going to bring up now. There was probably more in this direct, but we're at the top. There was probably more in this direct, but I can't for the life of me remember what exactly was what. Oh, there was the Fire Emblem game. Oh yes, we'll talk about the Fire Emblem game before we get into the other 2. So, Fire Emblem game, you know, it looks alright, but hey, you gotta buy a season pass and it's in early access, or whatever other nonsense they were saying. As long as you've got both versions, then you can say sign with no one and get the 3rd version. Again though, you have to have bought both Fire Emblem Fates and Fire Emblem Bloodline to be able to get this 3rd chapter, because it's like those old bloody games like Spyro Fusion and Crash Fusion, or Oracle of Seasons and Oracle of Ages, where you've got to link the 2 games together to get the true final boss and the true ending. So I hope you bought both games. That's double the price of a game, please, sir. Thank you, sir. So that didn't go over well. And then obviously, like in America, not so much England. England got away with it, so I don't mind. But in the Twitch stream that I was watching it in America, everybody was being like, oh, censored, 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 because it has been heavily censored in the US. Like we missed a block. But it's been heavily censored in the US because the USA does not have the breast slider once again. Like, that was removed from the Xenoblade Chronicles, and it was kept in our version. Like, England has the breast slider, and England has the breast slider in Fire Emblem, but in here, nope, not having that breast slider. That's too offensive in America. And then they got rid of the petting as well, or the quote-unquote petting. Again, I think the petting was also removed from the English version as well. I can't quite remember whether the English version was removed or the petting was removed from the English version, but you know, it's been pretty heavily censored, which has opened it up for a lot of criticism. So yeah, I'm not really too interested in the new Fire Emblem game. Again, I have to buy Fire Emblem Fates and Bloodlines, and I'm not prepared to buy 2 games just to get one ending. So no thank you, sir. Especially with like whatever fucking season pass or something they were offering, because they were like, you can also buy 2 new maps. The 2 new maps are going to be like $2.49 each. But if you'd already bought our Bloodline Season Pass, then these maps are already yours for the taking. And it just like, the entire presentation felt very EA. Like, they were doing a lot of things that EA would do, saying like, early access Season Pass microtransactions, because it was one game. It wasn't a mainstream game like the ones we're talking about. It was like one of these side-off indie games, like, you know, or just one of their weird projects like that Mario arcade crane game thing where you got to pay like real life money to crane game some stickers or some shit. So they mentioned microtransactions once or twice, so it was like, this is a need a drink, but this is a very EA presentation. I'm not feeling it. So there we go. Then we move on to the two doozies, which everybody just like ripped apart, which was Metroid Prime Federation Force, which is not a Metroid game. Like, Samus has one cameo in it in like a cutscene, and that's about it. But guess what you do in Federation Force? You play, okay, get this. You play as a Space Marine, right? So, like Halo, like Gears of War, like every other generic fucking shooter that came out across the last generation, you get to play as a chunky Space Marine in power armor, because, of course, you've always got to have power armor. Notice how Kirby had power armor. And you even, like, in the trailer for Federation Force, like, they even entered the power armor from the back, like, they stepped into it and it kind of closes exactly like it did in Fallout 4, because somebody has clearly been playing Fallout 4 when they came up with this nonsense. But it's like, you play as a fat, chunky Space Marine in space power armor, just like in Halo, Gears of War, and all the other tripe that came out last generation. And I bet you can't guess what the kind of gameplay style is. That's right, it's a first-person shooter, which is basically like grey and brown. Because, like, sci-fi, it's kind of like Aliens, where you walk around the grey metal corridors of a spaceship. And, you know, there's a bit of purple on the space pirates. But that's it. That's all it was. It's just like, it is literally a Halo clone. It looks so fucking bad. And you can clearly tell that it's a desperate cash-in on Halo. It's like, man, we're going to make a Metroid game, but we're not going to have any Metroids. So just let that sink in. A Metroid game that doesn't have a Metroid. Okay, I'll say that again. A Metroid game with no, I repeat, no Metroids. So that's the first start. So we got a Metroid game with no Metroids, a Metroid game with no Samus, and while the trailer didn't say yes or no, potentially a Metroid game with no fucking Ridley. So congratulations, you're just making another dull Space Marine shooter like Halo and Gears of War. Congratulations. So that got ripped apart in the chat, and Nintendo is still oblivious to the, like, why does everybody hate this? Everybody wanted a new Metroid game. Everybody's been after a new Metroid game. Well, it's not a bloody Metroid game, is it? So, Nintendo's still oblivious to why it's getting all the flack. And again, oblivious to why the next game is getting all the flack, which is, like, the highlight of the entire Direct. Because I get to gloat to everybody and say I was right and I knew this was coming. Because nobody listened to me and I was right and I knew this was coming. So, the new Paper Mario game got announced. They was like, oh, Paper Mario! It's going to be like 1,000-year door. It's going to be great. And of course, it turned out to have a shitty gimmick where you've got to paint your cards. Like, you go into like your hammer. Okay, so your hammer, when you hit your hammer on the ground, it makes paint, right? Like, when you hit the hammer on the ground, a paint splooshes everywhere, okay? And, like, if you hit your hammer on the ground near a toad, it paint splooshes a toad, and you rescue that toad. Or if you paint sploosh it on a house, then you rescue a house of toads. So just remember, we're already following the Paper Jam formula of rescuing toads, and Paper Jam was shit. But then, it doesn't stop there, because when you engage in battle, you can't just engage in battle like in 1,000-Year Door or Super Paper Mario. No, it's like Sticker Star, where you have a hand of cards. You are dealt a hand of cards, and you have to pick one of them cards, like whether it be a hammer, a shoe, or whatever, to decide what attack you're doing. But you're not just going to pick that card. After you've picked the card that you want to attack with, you then have to go onto the touch screen and rub it with your stylus to paint the card. Hence the fact I made this picture as a joke last night, where Bob Ross is painting a card. I can't wait for the DLC where we play Bob Ross as Paper Bob Ross, or if the game just gets renamed to Bob Ross Simulator 2016, because that's pretty much what it is. You're painting on a canvas. It is Bob Ross Simulator 2016, and if it isn't, then please give me the DLC where I can play as a Paper Bob Ross. But you know, everybody that I was watching this with, because I watched it with Midnight, his sister, and Malix, I watched it with 3 people, and like when the Paper Mario trailer started, they were all like, "Oh my god, it's a new Paper Mario! Oh, hype, hype, hype! I can't wait for this, it's going to be good!" And I said, "No, it's going to be bad." And they were like, "No, you're wrong," and it turned out to be bad. And all 4 of them were acting shocked, like, "Oh, what? Why? How is it this bad?" And I kept saying, "I told you so, I told you so." And they were like, "Spyro, you jinxed it." I was like, "No." Because if anybody watched my Paper Jam review, I already had information from the inside that said that they're making a Paper Mario every single year. And I said in that review that if you make a Paper Mario every single year, you get into Assassin's Creed levels, where Assassin's Creed like Unity and Syndicate have basically been mediocre because you're trying to make one every single year. Like 2 years ago, it was Sticker Star, and Sticker Star sucked. Then they added Paper Mario to Paper Jam, and it sucked. And now they're adding him to Colour Splash. That's 3 years running Paper Mario's been used. They're trying to make a Mario game every year. And they're not only trying to make a Mario game every year, but they're trying to add all these stupid gimmicks like stickers and like the paper tag team and the Colour Splash thing, when they just need to make an RPG. But they're not, they're like, no, Mario's stale, Paper Mario needs to be innovative, so we've got to have a new gimmick every single year. I knew, people on the inside told me that this was going to have another stupid gimmick, and it was turning out bad. And I was saying in my review, you can't make a Mario every year with a different gimmick, or it's going to end up bad. I knew this was coming, and I kept saying to everybody, don't get your hopes up for this Paper Mario, don't get your hopes up for this Paper Mario. Like, I know it's going to be bad. People have told me that the gimmick is garbage, and it turns out the gimmick was garbage. And then they're like, "Oh, no, how did you know, Spyro? I'm so disappointed. I'm so distraught. I can't believe this." And it's like, well, you know, I kept saying. And they're like, "How are you not pissed off at this?" Because I do like me some Paper Marios. Like, I think Thousand Year Door is the best Paper Mario game. I think Super Paper Mario with Count Bleck is a really good story. Like, especially when the little angel girl dies. That was really touching and emotional, except for when they fuck it up at the end and bring her back, because, you know, why have a story where they kind of weight or gravity, but we're not going to get into that. But, you know, I likes me some Paper Mario. I likes me some Thousand Year Door. I likes me some Super Paper Mario. I liked Paper Mario. But I knew that it was getting fucked up, and they're like, "Oh, you're a fan of Paper Mario, Spyro. Why aren't you disappointed?" And I said to him, I'm not disappointed because I knew it was going to happen. I know that AAA can't be trusted anymore. I know AAA fucks everything up, and I was told months ago that AAA would fuck this one up. So I was already disappointed 2 months ago, and I was already prepared for the disappointment. That's why I'm not like what you're like now, being like, "Oh my god, it fucking sucks, it's horrible, it's the worst thing in the world." Because I already knew it was, I already knew that the disappointment was coming. So, yeah, there you go. Also look forward to next year's Paper Mario. I won't say any more than that, because they're trying to shit one out every year. Then again, if this one sells poorly, they might actually learn their lesson. Now, well, I would say AAA would learn its lesson, but AAA won't learn its lesson. AAA never learns its lesson. But, you know, maybe, because it's Nintendo, maybe they'll learn their lesson and not make a Paper Mario game next year, and they'll just be like, hey, maybe we should wait a year and just, like, actually make a good, decent RPG, rather than being like, oh, we're just going to shit something out with some crappy gimmick inside of it. Because I also noticed that it's not an RPG, because throughout that entire trailer, you didn't have any other party members. It was just Paper Mario. So, hope you're not looking for, like, companions to level up and stuff, because it didn't seem that there was any kind of companions or a leveling system, which means that it's not an RPG once again. But we're at the top of the tower. It's been 20 minutes, so that's my thoughts on this direct. It was pretty mediocre overall, to be honest with you. Kind of shit, really. So, we're going to put this last block in. And is this the highest I can go? No, I can go higher. But yeah, so, no, you have hit the height limit. So, we're going to just, like, make this, because this is, like, the great glass elevator. This is the central piece of this building that I'm just randomly building as I go along for someone. But we have hit the height limit. We have finished the glass tower in the center to look over all the land. It's good. So those are my thoughts on the direct. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments section below. Tell me, did you like what you saw? Did you dislike it? What are you most excited for? What are you hating most? Even though we know the thing that you're hating most is the Federation Force, not a Metroid game, if you're a Metroid fan. Because I saw a lot of people saying that adding Samus into that one cutscene is just like a slap in the face. So, what did you like about the direct? What did you dislike? Did you even watch it at all? Let me know in the comments section below. And now I'm going to go and do a quick mini review of Five Nights at Freddy's World 3D, because Scott has released his updated version of the game in 3D, but there's not too much that's changed, so that's going to be a quick update. Then when the postman gets here, because I'm waiting for the postman, I'm going to be playing Twilight Princess HD to review that one. So look out for the Twilight Princess HD review coming out tomorrow. So there you go. That's going to be the next couple of videos that are coming out. But for now, thank you all for watching these thoughts on the direct, and I will see all of you in the next one.